Approaching 7:45. Beautiful morning we're having here in Vancouver. Well, SFU sports teams could have a new name by the start of the fall semester. At a meeting with student athletes last week, 97% of attendees voted to change the name from the Clan. Joining us now to continue the conversation is Stephanie Allen with the Federation of Black Canadians. Hi, Stephanie. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Mary.
So they're making this decision to improve the situation for their athletes. So when they travel to places like the States to compete, they won't face false pretenses about this name. So what is your reaction to this? Do you think this is the right decision?
I think it shows how language does evolve, and our understanding of words and of icons do change over time. And I think it's appropriate for SFU to take a real serious consideration of what they're hearing the student athletes say about what represents them and how they feel performing underneath this title. You know, it's obviously comes from deep roots in Scottish history, and where it has evolved, unfortunately, is that people may not see the letter C in front of the name. They may hear the letter K. And unfortunately, that's something that's going to be really difficult for students to bear. And I think it is the right move.
All right, let's get into the bigger sports teams. The Washington Redskins, for example, they are considering changing their name. We've talked about this before with the Dixie Chicks and Aunt Jemima. Where do you see this trend going in the sports world?
I think what it's revealing is that for a long time, even though we have some major ideals in our society about inclusion, is that we've got organizations, we've got names of things, we've got icons that we've held up that have actually dehumanized many members of our society, used their culture as caricatures of them instead of understanding them to be full persons. You know, the Atlanta Braves is another great example. A lot of these names have been taken and stripped of any kind of meaning or respect for the communities that they may have come from, and has really been a dehumanizing way of people existing in society who they may have been taken from their cultures. So I think it's the battle has been raging for a long time. Indigenous communities have been speaking about these names and how dehumanizing they are, and you can see that it's part of a larger system. All the time we keep looking at these bigger interconnected systems of systemic racism that really puts people in different positions in society and unfortunately dehumanizes some, even through entertainment.
So how do you think fans will react to this if and when the name does get changed? What about memorabilia that people have been holding on to for years with their family? Did they just get rid of that? Will it be taboo to wear a Redskins jersey?
I think it's, one of those things we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes we don't know what's wrong and we don't have the full analysis. But as communities come forward and present it, then our responsibility is to behave like we care and behave like we understand what people are saying this means to them. Now, we're not suggesting that history be erased, right? When we talk about how we treat these objects or we treat these monuments, what we're suggesting is that they belong in history books. They belong being taught. But to wear them in celebration, to wear them without, or to present them without context, or to do so in a way that can really harm other people, is something that we have to demonstrate that we've listened to and that we care about. Ignorance is one thing, or not knowing, but as soon as we come to know the impact that these things are having on these communities, it's about reflecting that we care. That we actually have compassion for the way people have experienced these dehumanizing and unfortunately marginalizing icons.
And as you mentioned, this isn't new. People haven't been calling to change these names for just a few months. This has been going on for years. So we'll see what happens in the months to come. Stephanie, we are out of time. Thank you so much again for joining us this morning, and we'll chat with you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, that is Stephanie Allen, spokesperson for the Federation of Black Canadians. We will post that interview online. 7:49.